The event was great actually. It turned out to be, there were 2 events on the same day. We did a Sunday service for about 800 people. They came during sound. Almost all of them came during sound check and they just sat there and watched us. So I felt like they saw the songs twice at least. And then when we did the show, when we did the Sunday service, of our 3 songs set before the service, I felt like they were really getting into it.
I thought so too. And actually, Ben came up with this, what I thought was a horrible idea, but it turned out to be a great idea, to throw in this little like Caribbean jam section in the middle of one of the tunes we played called "God Gave Rock and Roll." We didn't write that one, but we play that one a lot. And we just,
it's on the first album.
We just vamped into this Caribbean like jam thing. I don't know. We didn't really know what we were doing, but that little piece was probably the most well-received thing that we did, and Ben wins again. No, but actually it worked out really well. I thought at the end of it, the autographs and the T-shirts and the CDs and the picture session went on forever. So I felt like that was a sure sign that something was a success there.
Yeah. But so that was pretty cool. But it turned into something else when we tried to leave the country.
Yeah.
Because we were separated. We arrived as one group, then we were separated into 2 groups going back home. First group did alright. I was in that group. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, God.
I mean, your group, we're not that successful.
Yeah, my group shows up to the airport. Of course, the group that makes it successfully is sort of the group of people that were probably the most helpful in times of emergency.
We got me and
we got Julian. We got our sound engineer Bill Miho, and we have we get to the airport and they say we are half booked. You're half booked, and it doesn't make any sense to me. But there's some kind of system there where
what's a half booked?
You're half booked, and we got a few other guys like a video guy and another sound guy, and they make it. Their tickets are not half booked. Our tickets are half booked.
Right.
So Jaga comes over to me and he says real quietly, he said, "Joe, don't freak out. You're not making the flight." And like we were exhausted, and like the whole time you're worried that you might get malaria or something, I mean, we don't know the country. I'm sure it wasn't
food poisoning.
Yeah, we don't know what so it just could be potentially stressful. Then we fight with the ticket agency. We tried everything. We finally decide to repurchase our tickets. Fine, we give in. We're going to repurchase the tickets. They say, okay, fill out this paperwork. We get through it. They say, you know what? You got 20 minutes to figure this out because the gate's going to close in 20 minutes. We finally get through the paperwork. We say, okay, we're ready to buy the tickets for $1,000 each. And they said, oh, but we don't take credit card. And they're like, well, okay, so we owe you $4,000 now. And they said, yeah, we only take cash. So we go over to the ATM, and we realize that their ATM machine only lets us pull out $40 at a time. So if you can imagine how many hundreds of transactions, no bank would ever allow you to actually do it. So we finally give up. We go back. We finally decide to go back to the Hilton there, and we get into a cab. And we're it's stop and go traffic all the way back to the hotel, but before we do get there, we get pulled over by the cops. The cab driver points out that we don't have our seatbelts on. He starts yelling at us in the car. He's shouting at us that we don't have our seatbelts. It's going to go on his record and all this stuff. And Jagger's trying to apologize, and it's just not working. He's still angry. And finally, after hassling, long story short, they are like, okay, $20, give us some money and you go. So Jagger pulls out $20 and pays him off, and then they let us go. Just like that. It was like, here's some cash. Yeah, we couldn't believe it. About 30 minutes later, we noticed the car is chugging along, like jerking, and I thought it was like some kind of transmission issue or something. And we get on the exit to go to the Hilton, but we realize we're running out of gas, and Bill's like, I think we're running out of gas, and we just start panicking again, stressing out, oh my god, we might get stranded on the road. He turns into a gas station, but right up to the driveway of the gas station, he runs out of gas, and he pushes the car up to the gas pump. So we like barely missed, it was another close call. I mean, had we just died about a mile back in the traffic jam, it would have been an all-day event. Fill up with gas, get back to the hotel. Later that evening, I find out that, the country is planning an oil and gas strike. And it's going to shut down the airports. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, you can't make this up. I was thinking, we're going to get stuck here 3 or 4 more days. And, going to Nigeria, everybody was like, you don't really need to get the shots because you're only going to be there a couple days. But here, if you get stuck for a week, it's a whole different story. I'm thinking malaria, yellow fever, food poisoning, diarrhea. I was like, all the stuff I'm going to catch. And how am I going to get through this? So I called the U.S. Embassy, and it's so funny that they just so casually said, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So I heard there was a strike. Is that not true? They said, oh yeah, the strike's happening. It's happening on Wednesday. And this was Monday night. Oh. And I was thinking, that's a really casual way to say, oh yeah, there's going to be a 3-day strike on Wednesday. You have nothing to worry about. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like, if it had just been a day earlier, we'd still be there, Finally get on the plane and the next morning and got out of there. And it was felt good to be home, finally. But yeah, never forget it. Getting a lot of mileage out of the story, though. I want to reiterate, though, that the actual show and the people that came to the show, it was really phenomenal. Yeah. And so for that, it was worth it. The set went well, the music went well, and the people showed a lot of appreciation, and for that, we're really grateful.
Yeah.